Hey guys, Bison here. It is finally here. It is time for week number 1 of the MPL, the Major Pokemon League. It is Season 2, so this is game number 1 of Season 2, and we are pumped. We are ready to go. Your San Francisco 49 Tails are going up against the one and only Cypher and the Detroit Liepards. So we're going to hopefully be able to do something with our team to go up against Cypher and get ourselves a victory, because we got to get that first victory. Week 1, Game 1, we got to get that victory. Last season we were able to defeat Cypher, but he had a very different team. Now this season he's got an amazing team, and he was ranked number 2 in the power rankings as we were ranked number 3. So this is a battle of the top of 2 of the top 3 teams. So for us, as you can tell on the right side of the screen, I am bringing the starting lineup of Mega Charizard X, Destructo, Spin Cycle, the Rotom Wash, Gengar, the Choice Scarf Gengar. He can't be nicknamed because it's the event Gengar that knows Sludge Wave, so we can't nickname him. We got our Life Orb Tornadus. We have our leftover Scissor for the Defog, and we have our physically defensive leftover Swampert to set up the rocks. So we're gonna go ahead and hit battle start and see what Cypher himself is bringing to the battle. All right, let's go ahead and hit party Pokemon. All right, let's see what you brought. What you got, Cypher? What you got? What you got? What you got? All right, I'm pumped and ready to go. So he's bringing his Mega Scissor. All right, so he's brought Mega Scissor, Arcanine, Rotom-Mow, Alakazam, which I know is gonna have a Focus Sash, Lando, and Suicune. Alright, so that's Suicune. We do have Roar on the Swampert, so we can roar out the Suicune if it wants to set up some Calm Minds or something, I don't know. And we have a little something tricky up our sleeves for the Lando. Okay, let's see here. Who do I want to lead with? I want to lead with Tornadus. I get a Taunt off. Or Tornadus will take care of the Rotom. Oh, whoa, okay. Whoops, I should probably enter Pokemon. Alright, well, I can see, I suppose, if his... We're gonna lead with... Okay. We shall return. Alrighty, we are back. Cypher restarted his internet. This is the 3rd attempt at trying to start the battle. We haven't actually officially started the battle at all. It's just gone to this screen and stopped every time. So I'm still going to lead with the same Pokemon that I had originally said, so it doesn't look like I'm doing anything fishy. I'm going to lead with Tornadus, predicting the possible Lando lead, because when I look at his team, I can see that only the Lando is the only Mon that can set up the rocks of the Stealth variety. So if he does lead with the Lando, it makes me think that it's not going to be Choice Scarf Lando. It's most likely going to be a bulky Lando. And hopefully he leads with that and tries to go for the rocks, as I'm going to set up the Doppler and hopefully get a taunt up. Magic J, which is the Alakazam. Okay. Alright. So what are you running? Are you gonna be a Life Orb Alakazam? What do you do? Tornadus. Let's see. And I'm talking with my mouse, with that you can understand me. Yeah, it doesn't look like he can one-shot me, so we'll just go for a knockoff. Yeah, we'll just get a knockoff off, I suppose. Interesting lead, Alakazam. There's definitely an interesting lead. Would not have predicted that out of the booking of plays. Yeah, I mean, from my point of view, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe this is a calm-minded Alakazam. That would be very strange. That'd be very strange if it was a calm-minded Alakazam. I'm predicting it to be a focus sash Alakazam. Why would you not? So I would, okay, he's got Psychic, not Psyshock. Ooh. That is not going to... I mean, he gets a special D-drop, but obviously that doesn't really matter. Gonna get that. It's obviously gonna take him down to Sash. So he shows us the Life Orb. And now, do I leave this in? Do I let Doppler go down? The Sash is gone. Sash gone. He's running Psychic. I can just get up a Tailwind. I can get up a Tailwind and go into Charizard. Or sorry, what do I have? I need to check something. Charizard. Make a Charizard. Oh, you Dragon Dance, whatever. Lando T. Let's just say you're defensive. And we have 30 seconds left. We're okay. Hidden power. Nice. Okay, that does not do as much as I want it to. That definitely does not do as much as I want it to. But I guess we'll get a Tailwind. Yeah, we'll just get the Tailwind up. We'll just get the Tailwind up. I was going to think about going into Charizard X. But yeah, we'll just get the Tailwind up. Predicting the Swampert to come in. Okay, so it does have Energy Ball. Alright, we do have the Tailwind up. Which is good. Which is very, very good, in fact. Very, very good. How much speed does my Rotom have? Rotom. We've got that much. Let's see. Alakazam. OU, offensive Zam, sure. Sure, why not? 50. Okay, 189. So I should be able to outspeed with Rotom. Should be able to. I don't want to go into yeah. I can go into Rotom. Go for a Hydro Pump. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Go into Rotom. Should be able to outspeed this Alakazam because we got Tailwind up. I can go for a Hydro Pump, or I can go for a Willow. No, that's kind of silly. I'll go for a Hydro Pump. Okay, let's see. Cypher. Alakazam kills Tornadus. Alright. Alright, and okay. Alright, so you saw the first part of this video, which was live, which is cool. I love live battling. But you remember in my Team Rocket first edition booster box opening, part number 2, where I talk about how OBS is retarded and it doesn't like me? Yeah, well, yeah, that's what happened. So my NVIDIA apparently doesn't know how to do driver updates because their driver update that they did not work, and it made it apparently think that I can't use DirectX with an NVIDIA powerful graphics card for some reason. So I had to roll back the driver to a previous update in order for XSplit and OBS to work. Because how OBS was working was using my shitty Intel integrated graphics card, which is why it would freeze and destroy my computer to death. So that happened while I was live recording. It was almost towards the end of the battle too, which is really unfortunate because this is a really good battle. And so that's what happened. So basically we had some disconnects, as you saw. So I go ahead and added that still into the battle, so you guys could see that live part. So right now what I'm going to do is it's going to be post-combinated from this point on, so I'm just going to hit the play button on this, and we're going to skip on to the turn where the disconnect happened, and then we'll resume from there. So this is a live and post-commentated battle. Xbox Play TV. Alright, so we're down to here. This is where the disconnect happened. Basically, he killed my Tornado as I set up the Tailwind. I went into the Rotom because I know I'd outspeed, and I go for the Hydro Pump, predicting the Lando to come in. And Hydro Pump freaking misses. This turn right here is the most critical turn in the entire battle. You will see why later on. But that miss with the Hydro Pump extremely mattered, because I was not expecting him to straight up sacrifice his Alakazam like that. I would preserve it because it's still super fast. So that miss really mattered because it got unnecessary damage onto the Rotom and it burned my Citrus way before I wanted it to happen. So he sacrificed his Alakazam. I went for the Volt Switch that time as I go into Swampert. Obviously, he's going to go into his Rotom Mow. So I go for the switch to go into the Scissor, predicting the Leaf Storm, but he predicts that and goes for a very risky Volt Switch, because had I stayed in, I would have gotten off either the Stealth Rocks or the Ice Beam. At this point, he doesn't know whether that I'm special, but it would have done a decent chunk of damage to him, and I would have been able to get, or had Rocks up, either way. So we went to Scissor, and right now I'm like, okay, I'm guessing this is going to be Resto Chesto, because we kind of like have this unwritten thing in the league that no one's going to run Crocoon just because of that. So I see that he goes for the Calm Mind. I'm like, alright, yep, that's going to be fun. So I go for the knockoff to knock off either the Leftovers or the Chesto Berry. And as you can see, that it is the Chesto Berry, so I do knock those off. I get a little bit of Leftovers recovery onto Clamps, which is good. So Chesto's gone, which means that if he does rest, he has to save for the 2 full turns. He's going to go for the Scald to do damage as I go for the U-turn, and of course he gets the burn. Lovely. The reason why I didn't want to do a hard switch is because I wanted to go for the U-turn just to get off some damage onto this Suicune, and because I knew I would probably live the Scald and have like a bullet punch left in the back, but now that Scissors burned, it's completely and utterly useless. I go into Leg Day the Swampert since I've got the Roar. So I can roar out the Suicune. He goes for the Scald. I take it decently, and he gets another 2 Scalds, 2 burns. And this burn really mattered. The one on the Scissor, not so much. I'm not too mad about that one. But this one really mattered because it does unnecessary damage to my Swampert. Otherwise, my Swampert would have been able to live a lot longer than it does, as you can see what I do. So I go for the Ice Beam here, predicting him to want to get some damage off. Not go for the U-turn, honestly. I was not expecting that. Because he figured that he'd want to do as much damage as he possibly could to me. I should have just gone for the Scald because that would have been the best play, but he goes into Scissor, and that's perfect for him because it allows him to eat up this Ice Beam, no freaking problem. And I'm like, well, shit. So if I had gone for the Scald that turn, then I at least would have been able to possibly get a burn on the Scissor, because he got 2 Scald burns, so why can't I? And there, see, as you can see, it's significantly doing damage to Leg Day, which I wish did not happen. So he withdraws Scissor as I go for a Scald this time, and he goes out into his Suicune, and I'm like, great. Great! Alright, so I go for the Scald onto the Suicune, and you can see that it does some damage, but luckily, burns all around. So 3 Scalds, 3 burns. That's what happened. You know, that 30% chance to happen is apparently always 100%. Anyway, so we get the burn, which is nice. We get some residual damage onto the Suicune. The burn is going to do damage to the Swampert, and now that I'm just this slow, Swampert is not going to be able to take a Scald. If I didn't have that burn, obviously Swampert would have way more HP, and I would have definitely been able to take 1 more Scald, since it didn't have the Calm Mind up, and I would have been able to get the Rocks up. Or, yeah, I went for Stealth Rocks. So here's where I'm like, alright, I go into Gengar, because I know I gotta kill it off, so I just go for the Shadow Ball, just because, why not? This is my Choice Scarf Gengar. It's gonna outspeed everything on the team, and here's where I'm like, okay, if he goes into Lando, then I know his Lando is Scarfed, because he doesn't expect my Gengar to be Scarfed. And now here's where I'm really stupid. I knew for a fact that knockoff was coming. I knew that. But I figured I wanted to get damage off onto this Lando for some reason, so I go for the Shadow Ball. I know it's not going to kill. I should have switched out into Scissor right here and just sacked it off, as I said earlier, because Scissor can't do shit in this battle. I stupidly just do that, which gets rid of my Gengar for no reason. I go into Spin Cycle. So what I should have done was I should have went into Scissor, sacked it off, and then gone into Spin Cycle, because obviously it forces the switch here. As I go for the Will-O-Wisp, and guess what happens? Will-O-Wisp missed too! So I'm like, oh, okay. It didn't really matter too much, but the residual damage on the Rotom Mo would have obviously been helpful. So he's predicting the Will-O-Wisp again, so he's trying to get the Flash Fire boost, but no. I actually went for a Volt Switch this time, risking the Leaf Storm, because I figured he would predict me to switch out, but I don't, so he's like, alright, maybe he's going for another Will-O-Wisp. So he goes out and does Arcanine, but now I Volt Switch to get that slow turn. It did a ton of damage onto me from that Rotom, which is why, again, if I hadn't missed that Hydro Pump. Alright, so I go into Charizard X, and I'm thinking that there's nothing really that this Arcanine can do, so I'm going to set up a D-Dance, because I have my little secret, hidden trick up my sleeve, because I honestly thought he was going to switch straight out into Lando right here, but he does it, and I'm like, oh, what's he going to do? So I get up a D-Dance, and he goes for the Close Combat, and I'm like, oh shit, a Close Combat combined with Extreme Speed is going to put me really, really, really low. And then I go, alright, well, and I see his Life Orb. Like, you know what? I'm just going to go for a Declaw. If Lando goes in, I'll get some damage off on it, and then I'll definitely be able to kill with the HP Ice next turn. But he actually stays in, so coupled with the +1 and the defense drop, Dragon Claw destroys him. So he goes out into his Landorus, and here's where I realized how stupid I was earlier in the play, because look how low that Lando is. So I go for the HP Ice here. He was not predicting that. Obviously, with the D-Dance, I'm able to outspeed the Scarf Lando. He doesn't see the HP Ice coming from anywhere. At this point, I'm like, I think we're in pretty good position. So he goes into his Rotom, and here's where things happen. This is where my computer froze, was right here. It was right before I went for the Declaw, was the switch into the Rotom. So I restarted my computer while we were in the middle of battling, and so with that, I had to restart everything to get everything back up, and the timer was ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking down, and as finally when I got the computer booted up, I went to go and pick my move, and the timer was almost gone, and I wanted to go for the Flare Blitz. Trust me, I wanted to go for the Flare Blitz to kill that Rotom. It didn't happen, and I clicked Dragon Claw because I was going really quickly to try and beat the timer, but otherwise I would have went for HP Ice, and that didn't happen, so the Flare Blitz did not happen. Now that Bullet Punch onto the Charizard X, we both ran Calcs. Do you know how much damage maximum that the Bullet Punch does to Charizard X with my spread? 22.2%. Do you know how much HP I had? 22%. So he literally got the maximum roll, and that killed my Charizard. And I was like, that didn't matter though as much, because what mattered is the timer running out. Because had my computer not froze because of OBS, I would have had more time to think about what I wanted to do. And instead of worrying about having to, set up the computer and stuff. But Cypher played amazing. I'm obviously not like, I'm not saying, oh yeah, you know what, I lost because of the stupid computer. But what I'm saying is that I just would have had more time to think about what I wanted to do. Because what I should have done is I should have gone for the Flare Blitz onto the Rotom Mo, which obviously would have decimated it. It would have been gone. And then we would have had, it would have been gone. Rotom would have been dead. I may or may not have died to recoil. I'm not sure. Based on how much HP I had, there's a possibility I could have lived the recoil. Either way, the Bullet Punch at the end would have killed me anyway, so it doesn't really matter if I died or didn't die to the recoil. But had I been able to actually think and go for the Flare Blitz, it would have taken out the Rotom Mo. I either would have died to the recoil or not, and then he would have gone into Scissor. Had I not died, he'd Bullet Punch and I'd die. And then I'd go into Rotom Wash, and as you just saw, Rotom Wash is able to take out Scissor, and I would have won. But unfortunately, that's just the name of the game. That's how things happen. So we unfortunately drop game number 1 to Cypher. A very worthy opponent to lose to. I'm not, it was a very good match, very quick pacing. Definitely some plays that I am very questioning myself about. There was no reason for me to sacrifice off my Gengar. There's no reason for that, but, whatever. Shit happens. And that's just the way it goes. So we are unfortunately going to start off 0-1. Very good match against Cypher. Very good. Remember to click the link in the description because Cypher's channel will be down there, so you can go to his channel to go and see his perspective of it. His versus recorder was actually full, so he wasn't actually able to save the battle because he doesn't do live comm. Or sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't, I don't know. He wasn't able to do the live comm. He wasn't able to save it because his battle recorder was full. So it's actually going to be my recording, my saved recording. I sent that to him, so he's going to be commentating over that. So you're actually going to see like the same perspective on both battles. But at least from his perspective, or his video, you will see what his thought process was going through that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, steer that like button down below. Remember to click the link in the description to follow me on Twitter because I post updates to the channel and all those good things and stuff. I also give away free Pokemon TCGO cards, so if you're interested in that, you can follow me on Twitter to follow for that. The hub link is down below in the MPL. Go ahead and click that so you can see the stats and all that stuff. Also, the link to the MPL Twitter, make sure you follow that as well, so that way you guys stay up to date to the MPL channel and all the amazingness that is to come. We're going to be posting top 5s. We're going to be posting power rankings. We're going to be posting recaps. All that stuff is going to be going up onto the MPL channel, so I hope you guys are pumped and ready for this season 2. We're ready, we're here, we're pumped, we're ready to go, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess I'll see you guys later.